वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, very happy to be here once again at the Inner Consciousness Forum with all the wonderful devotees here. Uh, Even I was very excited to meet all of you all, even though it's been quite some time now. I'm very grateful to Ashish Guru for inviting me over. So today we are going to discuss these few verses from the third canto, 26th chapter of Shrimad Bhagavatam. And post that, today is a very important Tithi in our Vaishnav calendar. Today is the disappearance day of Shrivas Thakur. So I would like to speak something about Shrivas Thakur and seek his blessings also. So this is the third canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, where Kapil Muni is teaching his mother Devahuti. So this particular chapter is called Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. So Kapil Muni is giving basically the understanding of creation. So this is yeah, thank you. So we are going to do from text 53 onwards. Hiranmayad andakoshan uttaya shalileshayat tam avishya mahadevo bahuda nirbibedakam. Translation: the Supreme Person of Godhead, the Virat Purusha. Okay, do you all read it? Yes, please.
Suma Mataji, you can call out the names, please. Okay. Dr. Karpagavali Mataji, please read the translation.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandat Prabhuji, Dandat Mataji. Translation by Prasada, Prasada Ji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Virat Purusha, situated himself in that golden egg, which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments.
Yeah. So basically, thank you. So here the description of how the creation happens is mentioned. So we all know that from Karno Dakshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu. So when Mahavishnu breathes, from his every pore, one universe comes, which is called Anda Koshat. So it's in the form of an egg. So now again in each and every Brahmand, the Supreme Lord enters. Just like Srila Prabhupada would give this example, just like in a mother's womb, until the virya, the semen enters, the atma enters, activity doesn't start. So similarly, in the Brahmand, all the elements are there, but until the Lord enters, Hiranyamayad, until the Supreme Lord enters as Virata Purusha, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the activities don't start. So now the Lord has entered in this golden egg, which is lying on the water, Karana Sagar, and then the Lord divides this egg into different departments. Yeah, different senses and organs are created. So Srila Prabhupada explains on the purports that just like how a child is formed in the womb of a mother, if you go to see how the Supreme Lord has arranged things in this world, it's actually mesmerizing. How can one be an atheist? It's impossible, right? The egg is there, the semen enters the egg, meets the egg, and then the baby is formed. One after another, the limbs, the senses come into play. So that's how the Virata Purusha also develops, right? The universal form develops. So that's how it's going to be explained ahead. We will read text 54. Neera, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Vasudha Mataji, you can read the shloka. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation. Purport should be read, Prabhuji?
Purport, yeah. What do you all do generally?
Some Prabhujis or Matajis will read, some...
As you like, Prabhu.
To your convenience.
Anything. Yeah, someone can read this. Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Meera निरभिध्यस्तास्य प्रथमं मुखं वाणी ततो अभवत् वाण्यावनेरतो नासे प्राणोतो घ्राण एतयो. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danda Pranam. First of all, a mouth appeared in him, and then came forth the organ of speech, and with it the god of fire, the deity who presides over that organ. Then a pair of nostrils appeared, and in them appeared the olfactory sense, as well as prana, the vital air. Thank you, Prabhuji.
There is no purport for this, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Shall we go for the next shloka, Prabhuji?
There's a purport
Hare
here.
Krishna, there is purport.
What is there? Sudha Mataji can read the puppet, and then later on others can continue.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. With the manifestation of speech, fire also became manifested, and with the manifestation of nostrils, the vital air, the breathing process, and the sense of smell also became manifest. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So basically here, the first thing that appears in the Virat Rupa is the mouth, right? And as soon as the mouth appears, the organ of speech. So mouth and the organ of speech, the tongue basically, or the vocal cords is very much connected. So we'll find in this creation, there are three things. One is the physical organ, there is the subtle organ, and then there is the sense deity. There is a deity that is responsible for that organ. So the mouth appears in this Virata Rupa in the universal form. And as soon as the mouth appears, the organ of speech comes. And the speech is connected to Agni Dev, the god of fire. Right? So that's how the universal, you see, just like we have our own bodies, our body is connected to the universal body. So the demigod responsible for speech is Agni Dev, the organ of the deity of fire. So he also appears simultaneously, right? And then nostrils appear. Probably, if someone knows how the child is formed in the womb, it should actually very much match this description. So in the child also, probably these are the organs that should develop one by one, right? So then the pair of nostrils appear. And then along with the nostrils, there is an olfactory sense. See, nostril is the physical object. You understanding? It's the physical part. But along with this physical part, there is the subtle sense of smell, which is called the olfactory sense. That appears. And then prana, the vital air, that also appears. So all these three manifest simultaneously. Just like we will see ahead. Just imagine, so it is explained ahead, Kapil Muni explains that eyes, the demigod responsible for the eyes is the sun. Imagine if someone has eyes, but there is no sun, can you see anything? You can't see anything. That means Krishna is so intelligent. How can someone say that there is no intelligence in making this creation? Krishna makes eyes also, gives us eyes also, and he gives us the sun also. The Surya Dev is there, so that we can actually utilize the eyes. So in this way, in this verse, it is explained that how the mouth appears and then the nostrils appear. We'll go to the next verse.
Prashanti Mataji, you can read the shloka. Anita Mataji, you can read the translation. And Shilpa Mataji, you can read the purport. Hare Krishna.
घ्राणत्वा वायुरभिद्येताम् अक्षिणी चक्षुरेतयोः तस्मात् सूर्यो न्यभिद्येताम् कर्णौ श्रोतं ततो दिशः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranams.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god who presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god who presides over it. Next, there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its awake the Dik Devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. The appearance, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The appearance of different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form and the appearance of the presiding deities of those bodily parts is being described. As in the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts, so in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to the creation of various paraphernalia. The senses appear, and over each of them there is a presiding deity. It is corroborated by this statement of Shrimad Bhagavatam and also by Brahma Samhita that the sun appeared after the appearance of the eyes of the universal form of the Lord. The sun is dependent on the eyes of the universal form. The Brahma Samhita also says that the sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Yat Chakshur Esha Savita. Savita means the sun. The sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, everything is created by the universal body of the Supreme Godhead. Material nature is simply the supplier of materials. The creation is actually done by the Supreme Lord, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Mayadhyakshena prakriteha suyate sacharacharam. Under my direction does material nature create all moving and non-moving objects in the cosmic creation. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Bhagavaji.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada is such a genius. Prabhupada explains very complicated stuff in a very simple way. I mean, this creation is actually quite a complicated thing, but Prabhupada explains it so nicely. So I told you all that our eyes are dependent on the sun, isn't it? If there is no sun, what is the use of your eyes? There's no use. You see, in this world, we may be very proud of things in this world, but if Krishna removes that sun, there's no point in even you having eyes. So our eyes are dependent on the sun, but the sun is dependent on Krishna. So that's what Prabhupada explains here. Yat Chakshur Esha Savita Sakala Grahana Brahma Samhita. The sun is considered to be one of the eyes of Krishna. And there is a connection here. Eyes of Krishna means the eyes of Virata Purusha. So as soon as the eye appears in Virata Purusha, universal form, the sun appears. So that's how it is. So ultimately, everything, as Prabhupada explains here, is dependent on Krishna. The creation is dependent on Krishna. He is the actual supplier. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. Krishna says, Maya dakshena. Under my direction, material nature works. The sun is moving. But the sun is moving in whose direction? Krishna's direction. Krishna tells the sun to move and the sun carries out his order. So therefore in Surya Lok also, Surya Dev also worships Surya Narayan. Right? We get Prakash from Surya, but Surya knows that energy actually is coming from Krishna. So Prabhupada explains in one place that the sun has the power to give light, but the sun gets its energy from Brahma Jyoti. So that's how the sun gets its energy from. And the sun gives energy to us. So Srila Prabhupada has written this very beautiful book called Life Comes From Life. Right? So this creation chapter is completely contradictory to what is being taught in the modern education, modern schools. Completely different. So in modern schools, there is nowhere God in the picture. But actual creation means God is always there in the picture. At every point in the creation, God is there. So Prabhupada wrote this very beautiful book called Life Comes From Life, that there are two ways to see life. One is to see that, the whole thing has just come from a big bang. Or the other way to see life is that the entire creation has come from Krishna. It's come from a big brain, a very intelligent person. So that's what Srila Prabhupada explains here. So as I told you, there are three things that come simultaneously. The sense organ, the subtle sense, and the sense devata. But I'll give you an example. Someone may have eyes. Okay? The physical eye may be there, but he may not have the vision to see. Right? You may have many people who are blind. They may have eyes, but the subtle sense is not there. Right? So someone may have the eye, the subtle sense, and if the sun is not there, there is no use. So when all three come only, there is actual use of that sense. So creation is so well planned. There is so much organization and so much intelligence that Krishna has put into it. So similarly, you may have the nostril, right? The nostril may be there. But the olfactory sense is the subtle sense of smell. Like during COVID time and other times, People have the nostril, but they have lost the sense of smell. Right? The olfactory sense is not there. And the demigod responsible for this is the wind god, Vayu Dev, like that. So in this way, all the three have to work in pair there, and then actually they can be used. So in the Bhagavad Gita, I think the second chapter, Krishna explains this, that how in this creation, the demigods and humans have to work hand in hand. They have to work hand in hand. We are not independent. We are dependent on the demigods. And the demigods are dependent on us. So Krishna has created the system of interdependence. The demigods get their Hahuti from human beings, and we as human beings are dependent on the mercy of demigods, like that. And then it is explained in the verse here that eyes come in the universal form. First, the sense of smell comes, then the eyes come, and then ears come, a pair of ears. And connected to this physical ear is the auditory sense. Again, so someone may have ears, but someone may be deaf. What does it mean? It means that he has ears, but the auditory, that subtle sense is not there. And the demigod responsible for this ears and the subtle sense is the Dig Devatas, who preside over the 10 directions. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada explains that how everything is ultimately dependent on Krishna, and we are dependent on Krishna. So if you understand this, being in this world, you can actually see Krishna everywhere. If you understand this particular chapter of creation, therefore creation is also important. See, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days left. Parikshit Maharaj didn't tell Shukdev Goswami, let's go directly to the 10th canto. Let's hear Krishna Leela. Parikshit is hearing all this. Very attentively is hearing this. Because anything in connection with Krishna can actually inspire thoughts of Krishna consciousness in us. So these are ways in which we can actually connect to Krishna in our day-to-day life. We can be so grateful to Krishna that Krishna has created this beautiful system where we have nostrils, we have the sense of smell, right? We have eyes, we have the sun, and so many wonderful things. So when you look at it in this way, when you understand this chapter well, you can actually be Krishna conscious just looking around in this world, just observing your own body and your mind and senses. You can be very Krishna conscious. Yeah, we can go to the next verse.
Hare Krishna. Shobha Mataji, you can read the shloka. Vasudha Mataji, you can read the translation, and Archana Mataji, you can read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nirbibedha virajasvat Roma Sushru Adayah Adayas Tatha Tata Osadhayas Tasan Srishnam Nirbibedha Tataha. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Then the universal form of the Lord, the Virat Purusha, manifested his skin, and thereupon the hair, mustache, and beard appeared. After this, all the herbs and drugs became manifested, and then his genitals also appeared. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. The skin is the site of touch sensation. The demigods who control the production of herbs and medicinal drugs are the deities presiding over the tactile sense. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So then in the Virata Rupa, the skin appears. And on the skin, there is hair. Actually, you may think that why is hair there on the skin? This has a purpose. Nothing in our body is useless. Everything is like well planned and very systematic. There's a big science behind it. So tactile sense, many times the sensation, we can feel through the hairs, when wind passes, that touch sensation. So in this universal form, the skin appears, and immediately along with the skin, there is hair, mustache, beard, right? Something interesting. We have hair all over the body, right? And we have mustache and beard. Something interesting, the hair on the body doesn't grow so much. Right? The mustache and beard grows, this doesn't grow so much. How Krishna has made what he has made, it's, it's mesmerizing actually. So there's the story. One time there was one guy who was sitting next to an apple tree, sitting below an apple tree. And in front of him, there was a vine. There was a creeper on which there were pumpkins. Pumpkins grow on creepers. So this guy was thinking, God is so foolish. This thin creeper is having this huge pumpkin. This pumpkin should actually be on a tree. How can this creeper handle this pumpkin weight? Right at that time, one apple fell on his head. That time he realized, thank God, pumpkins don't grow on a tree. So we may think that God's creation is just foolish, but Krishna has planned everything so well. Can't be better than this. No one can be more smarter than him. So here Prabhupada explains that the skin is the site of touch sensation. Along the skin, there is touch sensation. So there is the skin, which is the physical organ again. And then the touch sensation is the subtle organ, the subtle feeling. And the demigods responsible are the demigods responsible for herbs and medicinal drugs. So just like we have hair on our body, hair on our body has some use, but not too much use. But the Virata Rupa hair, the hair on the Virata Rupa is actually herbs and drugs, medicinal herbs and drugs. So anytime you have some Ayurvedic medicine which is made of like herbs and drugs and other things, understand that this is Virat Roop's hair. Krishna's hair is come to actually help you like that. So that's what Prabhupada explains. We can go to the next verse.
Shanti Mataji, you can read the shloka, Mataji. Translation and purport I can read.
Hare Krishna. Retastasmathapa asanniravidyate vaikutam udhatapano apa nacha mrityur loga bhayankaraha.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. After this, semen, the faculty of procreation, and the god who presides over the waters appeared. Next appeared an anus, and then the organs of defecation, and thereupon the god of death, who is feared throughout the universe. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is understood herewith that the faculty to discharge semen is the cause of death. Therefore, yogis and transcendentalists who want to live for greater spans of life voluntarily restrain themselves from discharging semen. The more one can restrain the discharging of semen, the more one can be aloof from the problem of death. There are many yogis living up to 300 or 700 years by this process. And in the Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that discharging semen is the cause of horrible death. The more one is addicted to sexual enjoyment, the more susceptible he is to a quick death. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So here the next thing that comes is the genitals. We saw the genitals appears in the universal form, and along with the genitals, the function of the genitals to produce semen or retasya, virya, right? And then the demigod responsible for this is Varunadev, the god who presides over the waters, like that. And then the anus appears, which is the organ for defecation, or discarding things. And the demigod responsible for this is the god of death, Yamaha, Mrityu, basically, who's feared all over the universe. So Prabhupada explains in the purport something that's very important. So Prabhupada says that discharge of semen is actually the cause of death, right? It is what which reduces the lifespan of a personality. So therefore, Prabhupada explains very clearly that yogis would live for hundreds of years. So now also, if you go to the Kumbh Mela and other things, you'll find people who are still living for hundreds of years, 200, 300 years. It's still there, because this is a science that the more you control discharge of semen, you can actually prolong life. Therefore, brahmachari would prolong their life. They would hardly have any sickness like that. So Prabhupada explains that sexual enjoyment, more one is addicted to sexual enjoyment, the quicker he is susceptible to death, physical death, and definitely spiritual death, right? So spiritual death is understood only, but even physical death, the body will suffer through many diseases and will perish soon. So therefore, sense control is always good, not only for spiritual life, it is also good for a good, happy, healthy material life also, actually. So that's what Prabhupada hints on here, right? So we find here that how in the universal form, everything is there. So the universal form is also a Purusha. He is also a personality. That's what we understand also from this whole understanding. We can go to the next verse.
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read the shloka. Shanti Mataji, you can read the translation. Shilpa Mataji, you can read the purport.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna.
माता जी, you have to little bit scroll, माता जी. अस्तासु च निरभिद्येतं बालं ताभ्यहं ततः स्वरात् पादः च निरभेदेतं गतिस्तभ्योऽहं ततो हरिः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, the two hands of the universal form of the Lord became manifested, and with them the power of grasping and dropping things, and after that Lord Indra appeared. Next, the legs became manifested, and with them the process of movement, and after that Lord Vishnu appeared. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The deity presiding over the hands is Indra, and the presiding deity of movement is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Vishnu appeared on the appearance of the legs of the Virat Purusha. Hare Krishna.
So here it is explained that after that, hands are formed in this universal form, Virata Purusha. And the hands, the function of the hands is the power of grasping, to hold, and to basically lift things, to hold things, and to drop things. And after that, Indra also appeared, who is the demigod responsible for the hands. And then legs appeared in the universal form. And the legs is the process of movement, function of the legs. And along with that, Lord Vishnu appeared, who is the demigod or who is the supreme Lord, but he's doing this role of presiding over legs. So something very interesting. Lord Vishnu is the one who's orchestrating everything. Just see the function that he is taking. He's happy being, assisting the legs of the Virata Purusha, basically. So through this whole thing only you understand that how Krishna, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, is so very humble. He's happy taking a very menial position. Just like when Sudama goes to Dwarka, Krishna is very happy just sitting. So Sudama is sitting on the bedstead of Krishna, and Krishna is sitting at the feet of Sudama, washing the feet of Sudama. So this is how Krishna is very happy. The Supreme Lord Vishnu is very happy just to be, assisting the legs of the Virata Purusha. So that's what Prabhupada explains it. We can read text 59.
Sharmila Mataji, you can read the shloka Mataji. Translation. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation and purport.
Hare Krishna. Nadyo asya nirabidyanta thabyo lohitam abritam nadyastata samabhavan udaram nirabidyata. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The veins of the universal body became manifested, and thereafter the red corpuscles of hot blood. In their way came the rivers, the deities presiding over the veins, and then appeared an abdomen. Purport by His Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Blood veins are compared to rivers. When the veins were manifested in the universal form, the rivers in the various planets were also manifested. The controlling deity of the rivers is also the controlling deity of the nervous system. In Ayurvedic treatment, those who are suffering from the disease of nervous instability are recommended to take a bath by dipping into a flowing river. Thank you, Professor.
Yes. So when the veins, Nadya, in Ayurveda they say Nadi. Nadi is the veins basically. So the veins appeared in the universal form, and then blood was formed, and the deity connected to that is the deity of the rivers. The presiding deity of the rivers also appeared. So these are the vein. The vein is the physical thing. The subtle thing is the the pulse, the formation of blood and other things, and the deity is the deity responsible for the river. So Prabhupada explains that how in our body is connected to the universal body. So Virat Purusha is a universal body, universe. So our body is very much connected to the universal body. So Prabhupada explains one connection here. So our veins, have connection to the rivers basically. They are the veins of the universal form. So if someone has a nervous issue, nervous instability, so in Ayurveda also, it's a recommended system that you go and take bath in a flowing river and then you slowly recover from this disease. If someone has issue with sight, vision, demigod responsible for vision is the sun, right? You do Surya Puja, you look at the sun, and then you can get your vision back, basically. So that's how the whole Krishna system is of the universal body is actually connected to our own bodies. So that's how, very scientific and very systematic the presentation of Shrimad Bhagavatam is with this universal form. Okay, I think so. These are the set of verses for today till 59.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So anyone has any questions till here before we discuss something about Srivas Thakur?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah, Prabhu, I have a question. I wanted to know when we say that the universal form was formed. So this universal form, the Virat Roop is what Krishna showed Arjun on the battlefield.
Yeah, somewhat. So there are different versions of Virat Roop also. Yeah, but some understanding of Virat Roop, yeah. Krishna showed.
So that he showed for a momentary time, and then he again showed the two-handed form as Arjun was not comfortable, and he again came to four-handed and then two-handed.
Correct.
But in the real world or in the the Golok, Krishna universal form is the material form of the God, right? It's not permanent; it is temporary, right?
Correct.
So when we understand how it is described here, so we have to understand that the entire Prithvi Lok, whatever rivers, trees, mountains, those are the limbs and body of the Lord.
Exactly.
Hare Krishna.
So very important point. If you understand this, no one will actually abuse material nature. No one will abuse it. So the point is, if this kind of education is given, then automatically people will be respectful. You don't have to have talks on pollution and save the earth and this, that. Just understand this. This is the limbs of the Lord. So it will come ahead. The mountains are actually considered to be the bones of the Virata Rupa, like that. So you are very respectful to the Supreme Lord. Right? You are very respectful to the rivers, you are very respectful to the mountains and everything, basically. So that's Vedic culture, the science of respect. When you understand that ultimately everything is the energy of Krishna, everything is connected to Krishna, like that.
So Prabhu, it is so ironical that actually the devotees, or rather not, I don't know whether they can be called devotees, but people who follow rituals, they are the ones who pollute the rivers and put all the flowers and all the dirt in the river. They go and perform pujas to do that. So
yeah, but offering flowers in a river is still okay. I wouldn't say that's a pollution. But if you're putting plastic into it, and if you're putting bottles, and if you're putting
chemicals and chemical water,
factory waste into it, then it's actually a pollution.
Prabhuji, what about putting the diya? People put diyas also.
Yeah. So if the problem is you put mitti diya, still okay. The problem is to float those mitti diyas. They use some other drones and other things made of plastic. Then it becomes difficult. So I think that once you understand the whole principle, then you'll be able to use your God-given intelligence to see what is actually polluting and what is not polluting. If it is very organic, then it's okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams to you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you said that in the class that we are interdependent on the demigods. and we should work in hand with the demigods. So I'm not able to understand that, Prabhuji. Like in today's class, we could understand that. I mean, we are so dependent on the demigods. Like each part is connected with a demigod. And in Bhagavad Gita, it has been said that those who worship the demigods are not so intelligent. So how can I understand this, Prabhuji? Like in at the last, you said that also, like one who wants something from the suffering from vision or something, some problems, they should worship the sun god. So we are told only to worship Krishna. So how can we understand, Prabhuji? Like,
yeah, good question. So Krishna mentions both in the Gita. Krishna mentions in the second chapter of the Gita, Krishna does mention that Krishna has created the system of yajna, where ultimately both the human beings and the demigods can be happy, by the system of yajna, in a way of cooperation. So that's definitely Krishna's system. And in the Gita, 7th chapter, Krishna does mention that alpamedasam. So those who worship demigods are less intelligent, one should directly worship me. So both these things are mentioned. So the understanding is you see demigods as not independent of Krishna. You see them dependent on Krishna and as devotees of Krishna. That's the whole understanding. So the demigods are created by Krishna for a certain purpose. So you may respect them, someone may have like Prabhupada gives us understanding, someone may have a nervous issue, they may go to a river to take a dip. They understand this whole understanding that the demigods responsible for river may help them like that. But it is with the overall understanding that how Krishna is that Supreme Lord. So with that understanding, you can actually be respectful to everyone. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was coming from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, when he was walking down, he saw many temples on the way. Sometimes he would see a temple of Devi, he would see a temple of Shiva. Mahaprabhu would go and pay respects. But Mahaprabhu knew very clearly what their position is. Right? So in that way, you pay your respects to them. So as devotees, anyway, we are very respectful. So, if you offer your respects to any of the demigods, it's perfectly fine. But it should be with the understanding that Krishna is that Supreme Lord, like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In connection with this, I have one more doubt, Prabhuji. Like respecting is okay, Prabhuji, but to worship the demigods in getting some favor from them, is that the right thing? What Krishna expects us to do, or Krishna wants us to worship only Krishna? So I'm not able to understand what Krishna likes. Like,
yeah, definitely Krishna wants us to worship Krishna only, for sure. But if someone is having certain real health issues or something, and a certain kind of puja is expected of them that can actually help them get something in the service of Krishna, yeah, then they can do it.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the shloka number 53, it is written that the universal egg divided into many departments. So does it mean the 14 planetary system, or you told about some senses and all? So I couldn't get it, Prabhu. Exactly what is that?
Both the understandings are correct. The 14 planetary system also is described in the universal form. I think the description might have come in the chapters before, right? Did it come before?
No, Prabhu. About departments, no.
The 14 worlds, 14 planetary system has not come still. So it will come ahead somewhere. But the departments here also refers to the departments of the different demigods, basically.
Okay, the presiding deities.
Presiding deities, yeah. Department of Indra, Surya, like that. So that's also departments, yeah. Departments, another word of department in English is faculties, right? So you have faculties of the eyes, the faculty of hearing. So that's how they use it, na? So departments and those faculties also come in play.
And Prabhu, one more question. Why we call as Surya Narayan? What, is it the sun planet whom we call Surya Narayan? Or the presiding deity Narayan is present in Surya planet? That is why to him we are addressing as Surya Narayan.
Yeah, actually it's that. Is the Narayan that Surya worships. Surya Narayan. So Surya Narayan is not Surya. Surya Narayan is not Surya. So the Mayavadis, they have this idea of Panchopasana. Prabhupada mentions this in many places.
Yes, yes.
The Mayavadis equate Vishnu, Surya, Ganesh, Shiva, Devi, all of them as equal. That's not our understanding. Our understanding, Surya Narayan means it refers to Krishna, the Supreme Lord Narayan, whom Surya worships. So that is Surya Narayan.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. If there's no
Hare
other
Krishna.
question,
Yes. Hare
yes,
Krishna,
Mataji.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like you said that these things are related to the universal form of the Lord. That means Krishna only, no, Prabhuji. Like, and what about Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu and Karanodaka Sai Vishnu? They don't have any. I mean, can we connect with them also like this? No.
Yeah. So basically, the understanding is from Karanodakshai Vishnu, these universes come, this Brahmand comes. And in each Brahmand, the Lord again appears as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Right? And then Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from his navel, the lotus comes in which Brahmaji appears. And then Brahmaji actually creates the 14 planetary systems. So now what Brahmaji does is, so basically, in one sense, this Virat Rupa form is like a blueprint of the entire creation. It's like the blueprint that Krishna has already made. Brahmaji, in one sense, creates demigods later. Again, but actually, the demigods were already created by the Supreme Lord. The organs and everything was already created by the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji actually just, as a secondary engineer, just makes the whole thing appear like that. So what it means is, this Virata Rupa Prabhupada explains is, it's like an imaginary form. It's like an imaginary form. It's not that there is actually a Virat Rupa in the universe. In the universe, actually, there's only Garbhodakshai Vishnu. But Virat Rupa's universal form, how each of these limbs appear. So that means in the subtle form, all these demigods and the organs are made. And then Brahmaji appears and then he, fashions all of them into actual existence like that. So that's the understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji. Very little I could understand because of my ignorance. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, with the demigods, do they also have form? Do they have a spiritual body like Krishna? Do they have a form? How do we understand the demigods?
Yeah, they definitely have a form. They definitely have a form. I mean, demigods are basically living entities who are created for a certain role. Krishna puts them on a certain role, certain task. So they have a form. They don't have like a fully spiritual form as Krishna. Their Atma is spiritual, but then they have a material form. They have a heavenly form like that.
So they have a material form like ours, but with more power. They have powers to do that.
Yes, they have more powers to do. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just related to Shilpa Mataji's question, if they have material form, like how we see them in our sculptures in the temples, is it similar to that?
Yeah. So basically, like you may say Vayu Dev. Vayu. So Vayu has his form as wind, and he has a form also. Like Ganga Devi. Ganga is in the form of a river, and she has a feminine form also. You can see Ganga's form sitting on the crocodile, that is her Vahan. She has that form also. Vayu Dev. Similarly, Agni Dev, he's fire, but he has a fiery form also. So both. So form is definitely there. Without the demigods having form and without Krishna having form, how can there be form in this world? So that's the whole understanding. The word Virat Purusha refers to a form. That's the whole understanding. That form comes from form. Rupa comes from a Rupa. Right? So the Supreme Lord gives rise to demigods who have a form, and then they give rise to living entities. Yeah, they are responsible for different organs of the living entities, which also have a form. So form is like an universal, it's like a principle in the Vedic scriptures that everywhere you will see this aspect of form. There is nothing impersonal. Impersonal is one aspect, but they also have a personal form of it. You're understanding this?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Did try to understand. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
sometimes you don't understand these things in one go. You may have to read it again. Right? You will have to read this and meditate on it a little, pray to Krishna, and then things get a little revealed. So especially this, this Sankhya Yoga, the subject of creation is something like that. Like you don't get it in one go.
Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji. We just need subuddhi to understand things.
And also when you don't understand something, it's good because we remain a little humble. If we understand everything, then there's some pride also that comes. So there should always be something that we don't understand.
And also, Prabhuji will need many more such classes by you to understand along with our reading.
Yeah, I also understand a little, just sharing what I understand.
Especially come for Bhagavatam classes, Prabhuji. At least sometimes, or twice or thrice a month.
Yes, definitely help.
Yeah, Prabhuji will definitely try. I think Prabhu has to talk about Sri Srivas Pandit.
Yeah, you all are eager to hear?
Yes, definitely, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I just wanted to share something, Mataji, which I heard in a satsang, Mataji, by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Can I share that, Mataji?
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Like in one of the lectures, what he gave, we can have even Sudama had the pride of being very poverty stricken. So this is what I heard, and I was shocked. Like being in a poverty level, and that is also gets into our head, and we are like, I really could not understand that, Prabhuji. So after that, could understand it's so difficult.
Yeah. But one good thing, because Sudama had this pride of being poor, Krishna made him rich. So one good thing about the process of bhakti is, even if you have pride, don't worry. Krishna will do something to remove your pride. So don't worry. Even if you're a little proud, just keep chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna will do the required surgery.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for allowing me to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So today is a very, very holy day. Today is a very auspicious day. Today is the disappearance day of Srivas Thakur. So we all know that Srivas Thakur is one of the members of the Panchatattva, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So the Srivas here refers to Srivas Thakur. He is one of the most intimate members of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srivas Thakur's life is so great. I mean, and there are so many pastimes connected to Srivas Thakur. We can just go on for hours and hours. He's such an important personality in Mahaprabhu's mission, and he's such an important personality in all our lives. Even though we may not be knowing so much about Srivas Thakur, but today you all will understand that how such an important role Srivas Thakur has played and is still playing in our lives. So it is explained that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago in this land of Naudi. So Mahaprabhu, for the first few years, he was acting like a grammar scholar, a grammar teacher. He was not like a devotee. But then Mahaprabhu goes to Gaya at some point, and he meets a spiritual master, Ishwara Puri, gets Diksha. And then once he comes back to Naudi, Mahaprabhu is completely a devotee. So Mahaprabhu wanted to start Sankirtan. He wanted to do Kirtan. Where would he do it? Srivas Thakur was a Grahastha. Srivas Thakur told Mahaprabhu, you use my house. So from that time on, Srivas Thakur's house became the headquarters of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Now we have ISKCON temples and centers all over the world. We have online centers, online platforms, and so many things. But all this started from the house of Srivas Thakur. That was the first center of Mahaprabhu. So this house of Srivas Thakur is such a special place. In fact, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains there are 4 places where Mahaprabhu stays eternally. Mahaprabhu is always there in these 4 places. Sachira Mandire are Nityananda Nartane, Srivasa Kirtane are Raghava Bhavane. It is explained that these 4 places Mahaprabhu is eternally there. First is Sachira Mandire. That means the temple of Sachi Mata, Yoga Peeth in Mayapur, where Mahaprabhu is born. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eternally there. Second is wherever Nityananda Prabhu would dance, Mahaprabhu is always there. Third is Srivas Angan, the house of Srivas Thakur. Mahaprabhu is always there. And the fourth is Raghava Bhavane. the house of Raghav Pandit in Panihati. So Shrivas Angan is, as I told you, is the birthplace of Sankirtan movement. Just like Yoga Peeth is the birthplace of Mahaprabhu, Shrivas Angan is the birthplace of the Sankirtan movement. So this place is so dear to Mahaprabhu. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after he started the Sankirtan movement, he would spend more time in Shrivas Angan than in his own house. Shrivas Thakur opened his house for the devotees. Day and night, devotees would keep coming and going. Full day they would be there, full night they would be there. And the pastimes that happened in Shrivas's house, Shrivas Angan, cannot be described by an ordinary human being. It is considered that the Shrivas Angan is non-different than Ras Leela Stali in Krishna Leela. So we all know that Vrindavan of Krishna Leela becomes Navdeep of Mahaprabhu's Leela. Both are non-different. So similarly, the place where Lord Krishna performed his Ras Leela, which is like the most important pastime of Krishna, that place translates into Shrivas Angan. And the Ras Leela of Krishna translates into Sankirtan Leela of Mahaprabhu. So when we actually participate in the Sankirtan Leela of Mahaprabhu, we're actually getting entrance into the Ras Leela of Radha and Krishna. So it is explained that Shrivas Thakur was basically born in a place called Srihatta in Bangladesh, and then they later moved with their family to Navdeep. Shrivas Thakur, Shrivas Pandit, was 30 years senior to Mahaprabhu. He appeared 30 years before Mahaprabhu. So in the house of Shrivas Thakur, even before Mahaprabhu started the Sankirtan movement, Shrivas Thakur, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, they would all meet together and perform Sankirtan. In fact, Shrivas Thakur, Advaita Acharya actually prayed for Krishna to appear. Along with that, it was Shrivas Thakur also who prayed. So Shrivas they were like 5 brothers: Nalina, Shrivas, Srinidhi, Shripati, Shriram. They were 5 brothers. And all of them were completely devoted to the Lord. The entire family was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Shrivas Pandit's wife, her name was Malini Devi. So it is explained that Malini Devi, she was there right from the birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, Malini Devi and Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachi Mata, they were very good friends. So Malini Devi acted like a nurse for Mahaprabhu. So Malini Devi and Shrivas Pandit were literally the second parents of Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered them to be actually almost on the level of parents. So it is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chari Bhai Shwam se Kare Chaitanya Seva, Gaura Chandra Bina Nahi Jane Deva Deva. So Mataji was asking the question of the demigods and other things. So here it is explained that these brothers of Shrivas Pandit, the only thing they knew was Chaitanya Seva. They would only worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they didn't know about anyone else. They wouldn't worship any of the demigods or any of the personalities. So it is explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed such pastimes in Shrivas Angan, such beautiful pastimes. Mahaprabhu would weep for hours, he would roll on the dust, and all the symptoms of ecstasy just displayed in the Shrivas Angan. I'll tell you some of the pastimes of Shrivas Angan, which will actually highlight to us what a great devotee Shrivas Thakur was. So one time, this is a very, very interesting pastime. One time, as the Kirtan of Mahaprabhu was going on, one of the child of Shrivas Thakur, one of his son died. Imagine, right? The Kirtan is going on and his son died. And all the ladies in the house were crying. They were crying like anything. So Shrivas Thakur went and told them, don't cry. Because he was a great personality, he told them, don't cry. Because death is anyway going to happen today or tomorrow. So why are you crying? Just be so happy that this boy at least got to see the dancing, the Kirtans of Mahaprabhu. Such a fortunate boy. He's definitely gone back to the spiritual world. Why are you crying so much? But ladies and mothers are mothers after all. Whatever philosophy they know, emotions are still there. They were still crying. Shrivas Thakur told them, that Supreme Lord whom Brahma and Shiva worship is dancing in our house as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If your crying affects him, I will go in the Ganga and commit suicide. So the ladies got very scared. The son is lost, now the husband will die. So they control themselves. So Mahaprabhu is doing Kirtan. In the middle of the night, Mahaprabhu is asking Shrivas Thakur, Shrivas, I'm not feeling those emotions. Is there anything wrong that has gone in your house? that has happened in your house, anything inauspicious that has happened in your house. Shrivas Thakur tells with great conviction, my dear Lord, when you are there and the devotees are doing kirtan, what inauspicious can happen? Everything is auspicious. Shrivas Thakur doesn't even tell the Lord what has happened. And Mahaprabhu continues to do kirtan. After many hours, one devotee comes and tells Mahaprabhu, Shrivas's son has died. Mahaprabhu is asking them, when did he die? They told Mahaprabhu he died many hours ago. So Mahaprabhu is so touched with the devotion of Shrivas Thakur. So Mahaprabhu goes to see the child of Shrivas Thakur, the dead child. Mahaprabhu puts his hand on the body of the child and the child's Atma comes back. And the child starts to speak. He offers obeisances to Mahaprabhu and he tells him, my dear Lord, everything that happens is by your will. No one can stop destiny. And the child tells Mahaprabhu and all the ladies and everyone is listening. He tells, I have had so many births, but this birth is so fortunate. I have had Shrivas Thakur and Malini Devi as my mother and father. I've been so fortunate that I got to see your pastimes, have darshan of the devotees. My life is successful. Saying this, the son dies again. The Atma leaves. So that time, all the ladies become very peaceful. At that time, Mahaprabhu embraces Shrivas Thakur and he tells Shrivas Thakur, you have so much devotion. Just because of my kirtan, you didn't even give this news. So Mahaprabhu tells him, you have lost one son, but from today on, you have two sons. Myself and Nityanand Prabhu are your two children. So in this way, Mahaprabhu had so much love for Shrivas Thakur. So one time, in Shrivas Angan is this very famous Mahaprakash Leela that goes on. You all have heard of Mahaprakash Leela? So Mahaprakash Leela is also called Shat Prahariya Leela. It goes on for 21 hours. So generally, Mahaprabhu would never show himself as Vishnu. But on this particular day, Mahaprabhu, in the house of Shrivas Thakur, Shrivas Angan, there was a throne of Vishnu in which Shrivas Thakur would worship Shaligram Shilas. So Mahaprabhu went and sat on the throne of Vishnu and he put two Shaligram Shilas on his lap. And Mahaprabhu told everyone, come and worship me. And devotees, like first time, Mahaprabhu is telling openly, come and worship me. And devotees, Mahaprabhu told them, do Abhishek to me. And devotees were so happy to do Abhishek to the Supreme Lord. This is not Abhishek to a deity. It's actually the Supreme Lord they are doing Abhishek to. So they go and bring hundreds and pots of water from Ganga and they are offering Abhishek to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there was one servant in the house of Shrivas Thakur. Her name was Duki. She was standing at the end of the line and passing these waters. So Mahaprabhu called her and Mahaprabhu told her, from today your name will be Sukhi. And Mahaprabhu gave Diksha to her. Why? Because this lady was connected to Shrivas Thakur. In fact, Mahaprabhu tells Shrivas Thakur, my dear Shrivas, I love you so much that anyone even remotely connected to you, what to speak of your servants, maid servants, even a dog in your house, I will deliver them because I love you so much. Because Shrivas Thakur had so much love for Mahaprabhu. So for all of us, being in connection with Shrivas Thakur is very important. Just having that connection with Shrivas Thakur, Mahaprabhu will deliver us. So then the devotees offered unlimited bhoga to the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Vishnu, he ate all this curd, milk, banana, sweets, everything practically consumed. And then the Lord calls each devotee and, reveals a certain incident that no one else knew. So Mahaprabhu calls Shrivas Thakur and tells him, one time Shrivas Thakur had gone to attend one Bhagavatam class. There was a personality called Devanand Pandit. He was a great Bhagavatam speaker. So Shrivas Thakur, he was so humble. I mean, Shrivas Thakur could himself give Bhagavatam classes. But he was so humble, he would go and hear the Bhagavatam classes of Devanand Pandit. So he was sitting and hearing this Bhagavatam class and hearing Krishna Katha, he started to cry and symptoms of ecstasy. So the students of Devanand Pandit, the disciples of Devanand Pandit, they couldn't recognize Shrivas Thakur. They thought that this fellow is creating a nuisance in my Guru's Katha. So Shrivas Thakur actually fainted. He became unconscious in that class. You know what these personalities did? The disciples of Devanand Pandit picked up the body of Shrivas Thakur. He was unconscious. They threw him on the road. They threw the body of Shrivas Thakur on the road and they left him and went. Shrivas Thakur, after some time when he got up, he saw that he's on the road. Can you imagine? It is such an insult. You're in the middle of the class, someone comes and throws you on the road. Shrivas Thakur, so very humble, he felt bad about it, but he didn't come to fight, he didn't come to do anything. He just went to his house. and he opened Bhagavatam to read it. So Mahaprabhu is telling Srivas. So this incident, no one knew. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't know. Even he didn't know. But Mahaprabhu, as a Paramatma within all our hearts, actually knows everything. Especially when we go through difficult times, right? When we are, without our fault, we are hurt, criticized, abused. What is our reaction? What is our attitude? Do we get negative? Are we positive? Do we see it as Krishna's plan? Are we still grateful? So because Srivas Thakur didn't have a complaining mode, he didn't have a fighting mode. So Mahaprabhu was so happy with Srivas. So Mahaprabhu was telling Srivas Thakur, my dear Srivas, from that day on, whenever you read Bhagavatam, I actually personally enter your heart and gave you taste in Bhagavatam. Right? All of you are doing Bhagavatam classes. So how does the taste in Bhagavatam come? Like, Samatari has this question, how do we understand Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam's understanding comes not on an intellectual level. These are not books to be understood on an intellectual level. It comes only with the mercy of the Lord. But when that mercy comes, only when we have the right attitude, when we have this beautiful attitude of not complaining, being grateful, being humble, that's when actually this knowledge comes. So humility is a very important aspect for us to understand scriptures. It's not through intelligence, it's only through right attitude and humility. So Mahaprabhu is telling this to Srivas Thakur. And because of this offense that Devanand Pandit did, he actually fell down. He fell down from the path of bhakti, spirituality. He lost his name and fame. And finally, Devanand Pandit, when he meets Mahaprabhu again and seeks his forgiveness, only then he is forgiven. So in this way, Mahaprabhu is revealing so many of these leelas to all the devotees. He calls Haridas Thakur and tells Haridas, when you were beaten in 22 marketplaces, I was the one who actually protected you. You were whipped in 22 marketplaces. I covered your body with my body. And Mahaprabhu shows his back, and there were the whip marks that these people were actually, those people who were beating Haridas, those Muslim guys, those whip marks were there in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu in the Srivas Angan, he's calling many, many devotees and revealing all these various pastimes to them. I'll not get into the detail of all these pastimes. So one time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he was doing his pastimes in Srivas Angan, there is this very interesting story. The local Qazi, who was called Chand Qazi, the Hindu people went and complained to Chand Qazi. So basically, in Krishna Leela, Kansa of Krishna Leela becomes Chand Qazi in Mahaprabhu's Leela. Right? So all these Hindu guys go and complain to Chand Qazi. He's like the magistrate of that place, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, they are spoiling the Hindu movement. The names of Vishnu are not to be chanted by ordinary people. And they are not to be chanted in the night. These people are chanting so loudly. They are polluting Hindu Dharma. The Muslims were anyway were very envious of this movement. So all of them came together and complained to the Qazi. So the Qazi sent his soldiers and they all walked into Srivas Angan, the house of Srivas. And they told the devotees, they warned the devotees, next time you all do Kirtan, we will throw you in jail. And they took the Mardang and broke the Mardang. So that broken Mardang is still there in Srivas Angan. From that day, Srivas Angan, another name of Srivas Angan becomes Kol Bhanga Dang, the place where the Mardang was broken. And all the devotees become very scared. What is going to happen? The center is going to close. Preaching is going to close. All the devotees were very, very scared. Mahaprabhu was not there at this time. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there, when he heard this, Mahaprabhu was furious, angry. Mahaprabhu's formula is Trinadapi Sunichena, being humble. We are speaking about humility as the hallmark of a devotee. And Mahaprabhu himself is very angry, very furious. Is this humility or not? This is true humility. So humility means when you are affected, when you are hurt, you tolerate. But humility doesn't mean when the movement is affected, you tolerate. That is not humility. That is cowardness. So Mahaprabhu was furious. Mahaprabhu said, we will revolt. Mahaprabhu told all the devotees, now we will go out on the streets. Till now, the devotees were doing Kirtan in-house, in Srivas Angan. The devotees never went out. But this incident forced the devotees to go out. So I often tell, when problems come in the Krishna conscious movement, Understand that the movement is going to grow more. And it has always happened. Whenever a problem has come, whenever a Chand Kazi has come and created a havoc, the movement has always grown more. Right? So Mahaprabhu told all the devotees, let us go out. And Mahaprabhu told everyone, all of you all come with torch in your hand, fire burning in your hand. And lakhs of people came. Because the Chand Kazi and all these people thought Mahaprabhu's following is very small. They thought that we can just shut them down. But when Mahaprabhu called for all the devotees to come out, lakhs of people came. That is the point they understood what was the influence of Mahaprabhu's movement. Mahaprabhu's movement was not small, it was very huge. And the first time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur, Nityanand Prabhu, Mukunda Dutt, all these personalities are going on the street dancing. The first time the public in general saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees dancing. And this kirtan is unimaginable. This kirtan, the first Sankirtan, the first organized public Sankirtan started from the house of Srivas Thakur. The whole organization planning in the house of Srivas Thakur. So you can imagine how important Srivas Thakur and his house is for all of us. This is where everything actually started from. This is the mother. This house is actually the birthplace of the Sankirtan movement. And the lakhs of devotees with, wearing tilak, having torches in their hand, chanting Hare Krishna and going. Right? And it's explained that the procession was so much, more and more people were joining. Demigods were coming as human beings to join the procession. Unlimited people going in. And then as they were nearing the house of Kazi and all the Muslim people got scared. Because they thought that these guys will not do anything. They don't have any power. But that day they actually saw the power. Even the Muslim people started to join the Sankirtan. They covered their beards and started to join the Sankirtan, became one of the followers of Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu actually goes to Kazi and tells the Kazi, come down. And the Kazi comes trembling in front of Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu is questioning him, why did you do this? So the time Kazi tells Mahaprabhu, actually the day we broke the Mridang, Narsingadev came in my dream. And Narsingadev sat on my chest. And Narsingadev put his nails in my chest. And he told me, next time you do this, I will rip you apart. So Kazi actually showed his chest to Mahaprabhu. The nail mark of Narsingadev was there. So this shows that Narsingadev is actually always there to protect the devotees. Right? So in this way, Kazi actually becomes a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Kazi tells Mahaprabhu, from now on, none of my descendants will trouble you. And Mahaprabhu makes Kazi a devotee. So this is the difference between Krishna Leela and Chaitanya Leela. Lord Krishna killed Kamsa. The same Kamsa comes as Chand Kazi. Mahaprabhu didn't kill Kamsa. He didn't kill Chand Kazi. He made Chand Kazi into a devotee. So now also if you go to Simantardvi, this place, the Samadhi of Chand Kazi is still there. Devotees now, 500 years later, they go and offer respects to the Samadhi of Chand Kazi. So one time Mahaprabhu, this is a very famous story. Mahaprabhu is asking Srivas Thakur, Srivas, you're a grahastha. I've never seen you working. How do you run your family? You have such a big family. How do you run it? So Srivas Thakur claps his hand 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So Mahaprabhu is asking, why are you? I'm asking you a question, answer me. So Srivas Thakur again claps his hand 3 times. So Mahaprabhu is asking him, what does this mean? So Srivas Thakur tells him, I have full faith. I'm doing service to you. Whatever I need, it comes. In 2-3 days, I don't get whatever I need. I will go in the Ganga and commit suicide. So Mahaprabhu at that time, he tells Srivas Thakur, Srivas, please hear this. Even if a time comes when Lakshmi has to take a begging bowl and beg, do you think a time will come when Lakshmi will have to beg? It will never come. So Mahaprabhu says, even if a time comes when Lakshmi will have to beg, Srivas Thakur, in your house, there will not be any shortage. There will be no shortage in your house. Whatever you need will definitely be there. So this also shows that, when we serve the Supreme Lord, when we wholeheartedly serve the Sankirtan movement, whatever we need, it comes. And ISKCON is the live proof of it. Srila Prabhupada, now ISKCON has so much opulence all over the world. The opulence is just growing. The number of temples are just growing every now and then. How did it all start from? And how is it still going on? Sankirtan, that's all. Prabhupada in that park in Tompkinson Square, Prabhupada would just sit and chant Hare Krishna. And the Sankirtan actually brings everything. So this is actually, Srivas Thakur is showing through his example that if you have faith in the Sankirtan movement and if you wholeheartedly serve the Sankirtan movement, then whatever we need will be actually provided to us. Right? In this way, there are many pastimes connected to Srivas Thakur. When Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he comes to Jagannath Puri, Srivas Thakur would quite often come to Jagannath Puri to meet him. You will find in the Rath Yatra pastimes, Mahaprabhu would form 7 parties. Srivas Thakur he would be one of the party members. And then finally, when Mahaprabhu, he would stay in Jagannath Puri, Srivas Thakur was feeling so much separation from Mahaprabhu, he actually shifted from Navdeep. He goes to a place called Kumar Hatta in Bangladesh, and he settles there because he couldn't bear the separation of Mahaprabhu. So Srivas Thakur is actually Narad Muni. He's the incarnation of Narad Muni. Just like Narad Muni, his role is just to do Sankirtan. Narad Muni Bajaya Veena Radhika Ramana Nami. So Narad Muni's only business is to do preaching. And we find the Bhagavatam, practically the entire Bhagavatam is actually the glories of Narad Muni. Narad Muni preaching to Dhruva, Narad Muni preaching to Prahlad, Narad Muni talking to Yudhishthir, the Pracheta. So many personalities Narad Muni is there. So just like Narad Muni has a very important role in Bhagavatam, similarly Srivas Thakur, the incarnation of Narad Muni, has a very important role in Mahaprabhu's pastime. And just like Narad Muni is instrumental in spreading the glories of the holy name around, so similarly Srivas Thakur is actually that personality who has actually spread the Sankirtan movement, all over the universe. Another very interesting pastime. One time, because the devotees, before the Sankirtan went outside, the devotees in closed doors, they would do Sankirtan. No one was allowed inside. So all the local Hindus got very envious. Why are these people not allowing us? What are these people thinking of themselves? So in order to spoil the name of Srivas Thakur, there was one Brahmana called Gopal Chapala. What he did was, he kept outside the house of Srivas Thakur, he kept wine, meat and all these things. And he went and, started to do advertisement everywhere. And he told everyone that inside the house of Srivas Thakur, all these devotees are doing all wrong activities. That's why they don't want the public to come. They're drinking wine, they're associating with women, they're eating meat. This is what they are doing. And they kept all this and they showed everyone, see, this is what Srivas Thakur is doing. But Srivas Thakur was so humble, he didn't do anything. He just cleaned that place outside, he kept quiet. He didn't do anything. But this person, Gopal Chapala, he actually gets leprosy. His body starts to melt away because even though Srivas Thakur was very humble, he didn't want to take revenge, he didn't want to do anything. But the Lord couldn't tolerate anything done to Srivas Thakur. This guy just fell down. So all these pastimes show that how Srivas Thakur is a very important personality in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And it is very important for us to seek his blessings. So today on his disappearance day, let us all pray to Srivas Thakur that he may also bless us so that we can actually practice sincerely the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we can also be instrumental in connecting many people to the Sankirtan movement, which is actually the heart of Srivas Thakur. Thank you very much. Srivas Thakur ki jai. Srivas Thakur Tirabha Mahamahotsav ki jai.
Jai. Very good. Wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you so much for making us understand this difficult subject of creation, a part of creation, in a very simple way, Prabhu. So, and this enchanting leelas of Srivas Thakur. So, thank you very much, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Padma Mataji, were you saying something?
Yes, Mataji. I just want to, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just want to know, where do you find these all stories, in Chaitanya Charitamrita or any other book?
Yeah. So, some are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, some are in Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Okay, Chaitanya Bhagavat also there's a lot.
Yeah. So basically, if you have to understand Mahaprabhu's Leela, you have to read both the books together. Because what is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat is not there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And what is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita is not there in Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Yeah, because Prabhuji, we are doing Chaitanya Charitamrita Antaleela. We are in the first book. Okay. So, yeah, we are almost towards the end, with one more book to do. So that's why I thought after this I want to read, I just want to understand more about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, Chaitanya
it's
Bhagavat.
very interesting, yes.
Yes.
That's why I think we can get the books, no? Yeah, in the temples, Prabhuji?
Yeah, many temples. Chaitanya Charitamrita is easily available.
No, the other one, what is it you said?
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Okay.
You may get it in your temples, depends, but otherwise, from an online platform, I mean, you'll have to know the right book to buy. You can actually get it. It's not difficult.
Who's the author Prabhuji?
Vrindavan Das Thakur.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll end the session here. I'll request the devotees to just stay back for 2 minutes. We have an announcement. Before that, we will chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for Prabhu's health, and that's how we'll end the session. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sindhubhya cha
Awesome
patitanam
class, Prabhuji. Awesome
pavanebhyo
class. Thank you so
Vaishnavebhyo
much.
Thank you
namo
so much,
namaha.
Prabhuji.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Bol. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hare
Awesome class, Prabhuji. Please come again.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So there is a small announcement about the Krishna book quiz. The registrations are going on. I will send you the link. You can click on this link. Just a minute. You can click on this link and register for Krishna book quiz. You know that Janmashtami is going to come. So this is the perfect way of reading Krishna book, getting ourselves into the mood of, Janmashtami, celebrating Janmashtami with the consciousness, actual real Krishna consciousness. So I am sending the link here. You people can just simply click on this and join the group. Is it there for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, Mother.
Okay. Yes. So Hare Krishna to all. And there is one more request to all of you, that whenever some brahmachari is coming or some senior speaker is coming, please turn on your videos. At least 12 to 20 videos should be on, so that Prabhu or Mataji, whomsoever is coming, they should think that, yes, we are actually, I'm looking to someone. It's not just the blank screen. So Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. I'm ending the session.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.